What's up, guys? In this video we are going to be looking at how to create something like this using a model that I made in Adobe Fuse. I animated it in Adobe Mixamo, and then I used Snapchat Lens Studio to create an actual Snapchat augmented reality filter. I've got a lot open right now, so let me show you what I've got before we delve into it. Again, first, I made a model using Adobe Fuse, which is a character design software by Adobe. I animated it using Adobe Mixamo, which automatically rigs your character and then gives you a bunch of preset animations for it. I exported that into, close that out, into Snapchat Lens Studio, which is a free app put out by Snapchat that lets you create your own augmented reality Snapchat filters that you can push straight to your device with Snapchat on it. So let's go ahead and just close this out just so that I'm all cleaned up, and we'll start from scratch. I guess not totally from scratch. I would love to delve into Adobe Fuse, but I don't feel like I need to. It's very, very, very simple and self-explanatory. As soon as you open up Adobe Fuse, it looks something like this, where you have a ton of just like preset templates and models to build a character. If you've ever played a video game where you build your own character, it's very similar. You're able to customize it. You're able to change things like what they're wearing, the color of what they're wearing. Like if I go to textures here, I can click on all the pieces of clothing. They have a ton of like stock hairstyles and clothes and all that. If I click on like any piece of what I have over here in the texture tab, I can change the color of it. I can change different things about it. So I can make my hair closer to my like dirty blonde hair or whatever I have. I guess it's kind of greenish there. But boom. It's really, really, really self-explanatory. There's not much to do in it. So building a character, once you're done with that, you can go through and customize, change how like far like the eyes are apart, change how bulky or how tall they are, all that stuff. We have some options. The easy way to do it is send to Mixamo. If you're logged in with your own Adobe account on both Adobe Mixamo and Fuse, it's really easy to do. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to export this as an OBJ. So I'm going to go to File, Export Model as OBJ. And I want to make sure that I check Pack Textures and UVs. The textures and UVs are like the images that give the color and the texture to my object. The 2048 for my size is okay. I'm going to go ahead and name this Jenner model. I'm going to say demo because this is my demo. And what it's going to give me is, after it exports, rather than just the one file as an OBJ, it gives me a folder that contains that file, but it also contains the images for the textures. It looks kind of wonky once you open it up. Let's see here. I saved that to my desktop. I named it Jenner Model Demo. So here it is. Here's my OBJ, which, as you can see, is a 3D model, just like what I see here. But then it has all the different files for the textures, which looks super, yeah. So if I close out Fuse, I'll go ahead and save this one, Jenner Model Demo. If I close out Fuse, I'm going to go ahead and open up Mixamo. Mixamo right now, it's not an app or like a software. It's an all-in browser. So if I just go to mixamo.com, log in with my Adobe account, as I've already done so, this lets me then upload a character. This is the one that I already showed before. So if I go to characters up here at the top, they have a ton of their own preset characters that you can play with and use and download. But I'm going to go ahead and upload my character. Now, it says that it can take an FBX, an OBJ, or a zip. Right now, my OBJ, I can upload that, but it doesn't have the textures. I would want to upload the zip file, which is just a compressed folder, or a folder that's been turned into one file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click my folder, and I'm going to say Compress Jenner Model Demo. And what that's going to give me, right here, literally right below it, is a .zip file. Again, if you don't know what a zip is, it's just a folder with a bunch of files in it that's been compressed into one file. So I can just drag and drop this into Mixamo. And this takes a little bit. Depending on the complexity of your character, it might take upwards of like 2 to even more, like 5 minutes. I'll fast forward the video, whatever. And we're back. Okay, so boom. That took maybe like 2-3 minutes, but now I have my character imported in here. What I can do then is set up some points like the chin, the wrist, the elbows, the knees, etc. And Mixamo is going to automatically rig my skeleton. This is a process that would normally take a little while in a software like Maya or something like that, but we're at the point where as long as it's a humanoid, Mixamo makes this pretty easy for us. I'm using a standard skeleton. Those are all defaults. I'm not changing anything like that. I hit next, and this one, again, might take a few minutes. So once again, I will replay. I'll unpause the video, and boom. So there we are. Again, that took maybe like a little less time, maybe a minute and a half. But it saved me all the manual labor of rigging it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next here. And I am going to now go over to my animations tab over in Mixamo. And I can just like scroll through. There's tons and tons and tons of preset animations. I'll just find a simple one, like this amazing punching one, or honestly, I like all the dancing ones too. I think this is the one I was using earlier, I guess, to make it a little bit different. Let's find something else. Let's do this. So each animation comes with a few other things you can change. Like you can change like how fast it moves or how wide the movements are. But what I'm gonna do next, this is really cool. They just recently added this, send to arrow, which is Adobe's augmented reality. We're using the Snapchat one instead. Boom, body jab cross, because I'm fighting. Again, we have these animations here. I guess it needs to be a single animation for this. I'm going to download this as an FBX, and boom, now I see that it has 30 frames per second. It is not coming in as a T-pose. I'm going to click download, and that FBX is the file that we're going to bring over into Snapchat's Lens Studio. It's coming into my downloads. I'm going to go ahead and show that in Finder. Once I have the file, I'm just going to hit return on my keyboard and rename it Jenner body jab cross.fbx so that I know what it's named. Let's go ahead and close Mixamo and open up Lens Studio. While that's loading, my hotkey to load up stuff quick on a Mac is Command Spacebar, if you're not familiar. So, Lens Studio, I went over this in my last video, but it comes with a lot of really cool templates for Snapchat augmented reality. There's a lot of face filters, which are really fun to just open up and play with. The two that I've been using the most are the static object and the animated object. Last video, I showed static object. Now we're animating. It comes in as a template, and it has its own little like red panda homie that is doing his own dance. But as we can see from the template over here in our layers, this red panda wants us to replace it. So I'm going to right-click the red panda, right-click the red panda, remove, right-click this empty space right here, import object, and you can probably guess that I'm going to import the Jenner body jab cross that I just exported from Mixamo. Comes in pretty big, but it comes in fully textured and working. But he's not animating. Let's go ahead and drag and drop him into the world object controller. And with it selected, I can see the animation mixer is not yet set to autoplay. Let's go ahead and set it to autoplay. And after it loads for a second, boom, now I can see in the preview he's animating, but he's still huge. So let's go ahead and click on this guy. In Lens Studio, just like any other like 3D modeling app, W lets me move an object. Oops, I didn't mean to rename it. Oops. All right. When I have something selected, W lets me, oh man, okay, let's open this up then. W lets me, there it is. W lets me move an object. E lets me rotate. R lets me scale. So if I scale down from the center, now it's a little bit more reasonable size. As I showed in my last video, this box around here is the collider. I'm going to rescale the box to fit the general area of my figure. And that just says that, hey, if something touches it, the figure should probably move. And we're honestly good to go. Over here, in the top right of Lens Studio, there's this pair of device. If you're on Wi-Fi that's not our school's Wi-Fi, where Snapchat is not blocked, you pair your phone with Snapchat on it, or your device with Snapchat on it, and the computer to the same Wi-Fi service, and then you're able to scan the code with Snapchat and push the filter to your phone for 24 or 48 hours. It's really cool. Thanks for watching for augmented reality characters using Fuse and Mixamo.